On today's Statue Chat, we're going to talk about the top 10 definitive Batman stories of all time. That's up next. Welcome back, and like I said, today we're going to be talking about the top 10 most definitive Batman stories of all time. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because we've been talking a lot in the groups lately about the various stories that we love. And I thought it would be really cool to be able to rank them based on what you voted for. Okay, and so what we did a little while back is I posed this very question in the Facebook group. Again, if you're not a member of the Batman Facebook group, please make sure you do that. Batman Statue Collector on Facebook, Brotherhood of the Bat. We would love to have you a part of our community. And we did this poll, okay? And so many of you voted, and it was awesome. So what we're going to do is the top 10. So this is the definitive list that we came up with from our group of what stories we like the most. And these are just some of them here. Some of them I have, some of them I don't have anymore. But I want to talk about each one. And so we're going to count from 10 all the way up to number 1. I also have some honorable mentions in there as well we'll talk about. But I wanted to share with you our top 10 most greatest Batman stories of all time. Let's start with number 10. All right, so first up with number 10, we have right here, The Black Mirror. This got 13 votes in the group. This is a great story. It's got one of my favorite covers, like if you could see that, that very famous Joker cover right there. This book is really great, and it centers around a lot with the relationship between Commissioner Gordon and his son. And it really focuses on him, and I don't want to spoil anything in case you haven't ever read it, but the art is really incredible here. Really great stuff. Let me see if I can find a really cool panel to show you guys, but just really fun. It's a great adventure. Of course, written by Scott Snyder. Jock is in this one. Really, just a really fun book to read, and I can see why people voted for it. I don't know if I would rank it, I think I would maybe rank it a little lower than 10 if it was my personal top 10. But again, I feel like this is a solid choice right here. Black Mirror, number 10. All right, so number 9 on the list is this one right here. That's right, Batman White Knight. And according to this, it got 14 votes. And this is really fun too. This one is a Black Label, a DC Black Label book. And the cool thing about this story is, if you're not familiar with it, is that Joker basically is rehabilitated. He's a good guy. And the whole book you kind of question whether he actually is or isn't. But he appears for at least most of the book to be completely normal, completely rehabilitated. And so this is a really fun book. This is, of course, written and illustrated by Sean Murphy. So again, a great book to pick up if you haven't done so already. But this is the one that got number 9. Again, great book, great art. Here you go right here. Great Joker right there. So anyway, Joker goes sane, or does he? All right, so number 8 on the list is this one right here. This is a personal favorite of mine. This is, of course, Batman Death of the Family, illustrated by Greg Capullo, which is one of my favorites, and of course written by Scott Snyder. I absolutely love this book. I actually got it autographed. I want to show you the autograph here when I met the two of them. So how cool is that right there? Autographed in the inside. This book is phenomenal. It is creepy as hell. It is incredibly well illustrated. And this is the one, if you're familiar with, where the Joker kind of has a carved face, and he wears a mask, a carved mask over his face. It's very well done. Lots of great art. Like I said, the color, the panels are full of color. A really great story, and it's really one of the darkest, most sadistic stories that I can ever remember reading. I highly recommend this one if you are a fan of the Joker. I just absolutely love this book. I'm so glad. This would definitely be higher up on my list as well, but I'm really glad it made the top 10. Just a really great book. Let me see, how many did that actually make? 14, 15, 16, 17. So 17 people voted for this one. A great story. I highly recommend it. All right, so next up is Nightfall, and that is number 7. That's actually a book that I do not own, but 22 of you voted for that particular one. And the reason I don't own it is because I'm wanting to save up for the omnibus. I really want the complete collection. It's one that I don't know if I would read very much over and over again, but it's definitely a quintessential book in the Batman history, because of course that is where Batman, his back is broken by Bane. Very, very famous story. Of course, Azrael takes over the mantle. Great story, but again, it's not one that I am in love with, but I can definitely see why it got voted this way, because it is, again, a very popular story. Over the years, again, it's gotten tremendous press, tremendous praise, and I can definitely see why. Again, I'm hoping to get that omnibus someday, but again, it's a great read. Definitely check it out. All right, so number 6 got 28 votes, and that is for this one right here, Batman Year One. This is the graphic novel. I am hoping to be able to get the Absolute soon. That's definitely one on my list as well. But this is amazing. Of course, it is written by Frank Miller, and this story, of course, you know, it's that quintessential story of Batman's first year, how he got started, how that first conversation with Commissioner Gordon. It has inspired so many other movies, so many other videos and things like that. It is just, again, it's just a great story. And I mean, just look at the art again. Just it inspired so much here in terms of statues and other things. If you have not read this book and you're a Batman fan, shame on you. This is something you should definitely have read. And if not, please pick it up. Again, Batman Year One, it just gets inside of the head of the great detective and how he begins his journey. Definitely pick this one up. So coming in at number 5, we're going to see the votes increase here a lot. With 45 votes, this is number 5, and of course it is The Killing Joke. Now this one, of course, is my Absolute edition. I would have ranked this one higher than 5, in my own personal opinion. But it is just a phenomenal, quintessential Batman book. This is really the book that started me, I think, in my collecting journey. Because I always read Batman as a kid, but it wasn't until this book came out that I really saw the grim, dark side of Batman. This is just about as close to perfection for me as you can get. I absolutely love the art. Of course, Brian Boland, absolutely phenomenal, and I'm so glad I own this. This is, of course, again, is the Absolute. Check it out if you haven't. But again, so much was inspired. Of course, The Dark Knight, of course, inspired by this book. I just absolutely love it, and if it was me, I would probably have it in my top 3. But number 5 here on the list, great choice from the collectors. All right, so number 4 coming in with 60 votes is, of course, the legendary Batman Hush by Jim Lee. Probably, in my opinion, probably the most well-known Batman story. I don't know anybody that doesn't know this story. Probably the most incredible art out of all comics, in my opinion. I absolutely love Jim Lee's style. I love the colors. He captured this. And I think one reason why people love this book so much is because it is full of the rogues. It is such a great, amazing story featuring all the villains. And those are the stories that I love the most. So in my opinion, this would probably be maybe in my top, definitely in my top 3 again. So it was really close here, being the fact that it's on number 4 for the group. But Batman Hush, just from top to bottom, has inspired everything from statues like my Batman Hush that I own to just countless other forms of media. But again, Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee, absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely love this book. If you have not read this one, oh my Lord, you have to do yourself a favor, quit watching this video, go get it right now, because this is just about as good as it gets. All right, so number 3 coming in at 66 votes, and I don't agree with this pick. This is The Long Halloween. Absolutely my favorite Batman story. This is number 1 for me. It does not get any better than this. Of course, this was amazingly done by Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb. I love the story. It is my favorite. It takes place over the entire year with all of the holidays and people getting killed on the holidays, and it features all the villains. The art style is a little odd. Tim Sale, different artist, but this is my favorite Batman story of all time. I absolutely love it. I know everybody ranked it number 3 here, but I definitely would rank it number 1 for me. There's nothing that tops this story, at least not yet. But Long Halloween, people ask me all the time, they say, what story do I recommend? This is the one I recommend every single time. Hush, right before it, of course, that's also recommended, Killing Joke. This book right here, 100% top notch. All right, so number 2, coming in at 67 votes, is the absolutely outstanding, that's right, Court of Owls. This book is incredible, and this one actually happens to be signed by Greg Capullo, Jonathan Glapion, and of course Scott Snyder when I met them. This is such an amazing book, and the reason why is because it introduced a brand new villain, basically, that, you know, over the years they've introduced a few and they've been okay. This is a classic Batman villain. It introduced a secret society, and it's so smartly written. It is absolutely great because it ties in all of Batman's past, all of Gotham's past, into this great, amazing, long adventure. If you have not read Court of Owls, it is absolutely amazing. It introduces Talon and Talons, just these great villains that try to take out Batman and the city itself. Just absolutely great. Here we see Talon on the back with all of the Court of Owls. It's so great. It even has made it into like pop culture with like the show Gotham. We got to see Court of Owls, so that tells you how good of a story this is. This is definitely recommended. It's definitely in my top 5 for sure. I absolutely love this book. Do yourself a favor and get this one if you haven't read it. Again, Batman Court of Owls, absolutely phenomenal. All right, so before we get to number 1, I wanted to just show you a few honorable mentions that were voted in the group. Of course, Batman Noel, an amazing story. Lee Bermejo is one of my absolute favorite artists, so definitely, if you haven't checked this book out, this is one I highly recommend. Also, again, by Lee Bermejo and Brian Azzarello, this, of course, is Batman Damned. Also a great book. This is my hardcover that I have. Definitely highly recommended here. Again, great art by, again, one of the greatest Batman artists. I mean, just look at that art there. Absolutely phenomenal. Realistic style. I love it. Then, of course, this one is The Batman Who Laughs. Just got through reading this one. This one's a great read also. Definitely an iconic character. Kind of like the Court of Owls that are definitely now going to be going forward is going to be iconic right here with The Batman Who Laughs. Really great book. I wanted to share one more real quick. Again, this is my absolute that I got, and this, of course, is The Arkham Asylum. This is a book that I got when I was a kid. It's a very good book, very good read. Again, very dark and sadistic. Grant Morrison, Dave McLean, just a really fun book. I'm going to make sure I put this back in here, all right? But if you haven't had a chance to read Arkham Asylum, again, the art, well, actually, let me show you the art while I have the book out, because again, if you haven't ever seen it, it's just so creepy. It's just incredible panels. I love it. I'm trying to think. This is the 30th anniversary issue here. It's got just everything that you would want in a comic. I love it. But anyway, Arkham Asylum, definitely check that one out. So these are just a few of my honorable mentions. There are, of course, other ones. Some of the other ones in here was No Man's Land, Gotham by Gaslight, Zero Year, Batman Under the Red Hood, Dark Victory, Batman R.I.P., The Resurrection of Ra's al Ghul, Son of the Demon, Heart of Hush, which is another good one, Endgame, War of Jokes and Riddles, and that's a newer book, and just so many more, but I wanted to share those with you real quick before we get to number 1. And number 1 blew everything out of the water with over 100 votes. I think it was like 105, 106, 107, somewhere in there, and that's this book right here, The Dark Knight Returns. This, of course, is Frank Miller. This one is not one of my favorite stories. I don't know why. I always liked the younger Batman, the more detective Batman. This, of course, is the aged, grizzled Batman, the old Joker, in kind of this apocalyptic type world. And it never really resonated with me as a fan. I appreciate it for what it is. I've read it many times. But this one I was really surprised. I really thought that maybe Hush or maybe Long Halloween would beat this one. But this one, again, it blew every single thing out of the water by far, nearly doubled all the vote totals in the group. This one right here is absolutely fantastic, and obviously people love it. I am in the minority as a Batman fan, but I can definitely appreciate why so many people like this story. It is legendary, it is classic Frank Miller's art. Again, absolutely phenomenal story. Okay, so that right there is our top 10 quintessential list of stories voted by you in my Facebook group or our Facebook group. Of these amazing stories. And there are so many more out there, but these are just some that we really recommend, that the group recommends to you. Again, if you want to be part of our group, please join us, Brotherhood of the Bat, on Facebook. We would love to have you participate in things like that. But from top to bottom, these are some of the best Batman stories of all time. Again, my personal favorite is Long Halloween. I would love to know what your personal favorite of all time is. Please leave it down in the comments down below, because I would love to know which one you like. Do you agree with this list? Tell me why or why not, whether you like these stories or not. Because again, I feel like these are just some of the greatest of all time. And I thank you guys so very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you're new here, please hit that like button, and also please hit the subscribe button. That does help people just like you find this content. And if you want to take it one step further, please hit that notification bell. It does tell you every single time I put new content out there. And if you want to take it one step further even more, email me at thebatmanstatuecollector@gmail.com, and I'll put you on our notification squad, where we do contests and giveaways and things like that, and also just to notify you when I put out new content. But anyway, from top to bottom, thank you guys so very much for watching. I appreciate you all. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all staying safe out there. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you in the Batcave.